Laser sights increase confidence regardless of experience level, whether you're learning the fundamentals or overcoming aging eyes. Crimson Trace, making laser sight standard equipment. Visit crimsontrace.com to find a dealer near you.
Today on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, live from Las Vegas at Sig Sauer's Range Day. Tom's talking new products for 2019 from Sig, a new program from NSSF to get others involved in the shooting sports, a new look for the Cody Firearms Museum, and more. And as always, call 866-TALK-GUN. That's Tom Talk Gun with your comments, questions, and range reports. And now, the star of our show, here's Tom Gresham.
All right, we're with you. Tom Gresham, it's Gun Talk. Oh, man, are we having fun. We're at the very start of the SHOT Show in Las Vegas, Nevada. Of course, SHOT Show is where we introduce all these new cool products, and we get to tell you about them, and we'll be bringing a lot more information to you. But this day is, we're actually 2 days before the start of the SHOT Show, and the reason we're doing it here right now is because we're at the Sig Range Day. Sig Sauer, of course, well, let's see, it was a handgun company, and then it was a handgun and a long gun company, and then it was a handgun, long gun, ammo, optics, suppressor, who knows what else Sig's getting into. It's crazy. If you'd like to be a part of this, by all means, give us a shout, 866-TALK-GUN, or just call me at Tom Talk Gun. It's actually easier that way. We will have a lot of guests. We will also have your calls. If you have a question for a guest, give me a call. But remember, guests are going to cycle through pretty quickly, so if you have a question, you better dive in here as fast as you can. At the SIG Day, we have all sorts of things. We're going to be trying for some world records from shooters. We're going to have people jumping out of helicopters, believe it or not. All kind of crazy stuff. We'll be talking about that as we go through. SIG has gotten to be so big, it's kind of hard to even grasp how big it is sometimes in some of the areas that they're in. But one of the things you've heard me talk about a lot, because it's like one of those places you just love to go, is the SIG Academy. And I think maybe 10 years ago, it was kind of a secret. People didn't really know about it so much. But now the word's getting out, and that's great. And then joining with me right now is Hana Bilodeau. She is the Director of Training and Special Events at Sig Sauer. Hana, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, your background is in law enforcement, specifically in federal law enforcement, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you have been a shooter and a trainer for quite some time.
I have.
And you've got interesting experiences, many of which we can't talk about here. But fun. I tell you, I think cop stories are the funniest stories I've ever heard.
I've always said I'm going to write a book someday.
Well, I mean, we had a driver coming into town yesterday. He says, yeah, I used to be a cop in Detroit. Before you know it, he's just telling us the funniest, crazy stories because you're dealing with the public all the time.
That's it.
You never know what you're going to get in a given day.
All walks of life, right?
Yeah, exactly. So how did you get into the whole gun world in the first place?
Obviously, my law enforcement career was my introduction to firearms. Didn't come from a law enforcement background. My family is not in law enforcement, weren't really gun people, business people. So law enforcement was my introduction to it at 20 years old. Kind of caught the bug from there. Was an awful shooter to begin with, which got me into
that's
guns.
Interesting.
Really, it was my first failure in was always a standout athlete, and I didn't really understand firearms. So I made it my mission to conquer them. Which kind of brought me to where I am today. I was training at the academy with my law enforcement career, and they asked me to come on board as a part-time instructor to start off. So I worked with the academy for 7 years. Fast forward to where I sit today, and just recently, 9 months ago, took a promotion over to the commercial sales side of the house as director of training. So taking on this new challenge and running with it.
A quick question. You said you were an athlete. So you grew up, you were an athlete. You did all this stuff. How does being an athlete translate? How can you tap into that background to become a better shooter? I know there's got to be a way.
It's everything you do. It's movement. It's breathing. It's keeping your mind under control. It's the same concepts that you use to be a standout athlete, no matter what sport you're competing or doing, is the same for shooting. It's an easy transition.
No kidding. And focus.
Focus. 100% focus.
It is.
Yep.
It's funny. We always talk about all these things you have to do to shoot. You got to have your grip and your stance and your alignment. But if you don't have the stuff between your ears working right, it doesn't matter, does it?
That's it. Because you lose sight of one small element and you're off.
And you can actually screw up grip, stance, feet, movement, and still make good shots if you have your brain right, if you have your mind right.
That's it. It's a unique sport.
It is, isn't it?
It is.
And it's challenging, and you can be just nailing it one day, and another day you're going, I don't know what's wrong.
I've never picked up a gun before.
Yeah.
Every day is my first day.
I don't know what's going on here, but I hate myself today.
That's
so
it.
there it is. All right, so tell me about what you're doing now, because you're not just working in the academy. You're actually, as I say, taking your show on the road these days.
That's it. So, as you know, Sig Sauer is an innovative company in products, right?
Yeah.
We like to kind of take the market by storm. So we're working in that same kind of mindset for what we're giving our customers. So we have developed a training bureau that falls under the commercial sales element.
Okay.
And our goal for our team is to get out there and train all the dealers and sales reps that are going to be selling our product, soup to nuts, our product, so that they can engage the customer base and actively and appropriately talk about what it is they have. And we also have taken it a step further in offering them a full-fledged sales experience, in that we're offering live fire events throughout the United States.
At a dealership, at a range?
That's it. So that they can actually learn about the product and then take the product onto the range and test it. So not only are we selling them quality products, but we're breeding safety and safe gun handling into our customers before they even leave that shop.
So how does, somebody's out here, he's got a gun store, she's got a gun store somewhere, and they've got a range, and they're saying, well, that sounds cool, so what do they do? How do they get involved in this?
So typically they have a relationship with the company to start off. So how are they getting our products in their store to be able to sell it? So we have different levels of contractual obligations as far as what they're selling in their store.
Sure.
Based off of that, that's how you come in contact with the training bureau. Okay. Once you have a contract with the company as far as selling our products in your store or at your range, you get us as a free benefit to that. So at some point, our representatives, whether it's a sales rep or someone specifically from the training staff, will come out and teach you, kind of how to sell, what to sell, what's new, what's the latest and the greatest, and this is how we run a safe range event.
So is any of this available to the individual gun owner? Where are you doing events at a range where the customers can come in and shoot with you?
Yep. So typically our dealers will do advertising of events. We have all types of events that we offer in concert with these dealers or ranges. And typically they'll throw a blast out to their customer base in their area saying, we're doing a Try Before You Buy 320 event, or we're doing a suppressor night. And then, so they'll advertise those things.
And you make sure you have all the new cool stuff there.
That's it.
Okay,
and the best representative to educate the public when they come out.
So you're there, or your team is there, so you have people who are actually instructors as well, who can not only teach and show shooting, but also are conversant with the product line. And so, this is this, and this is and you may want to try, if you haven't tried the X style, you might want to try that, and back and forth.
So our goal for the training staff that we have 11 trainers now attached to the training unit, and our goal for them is to make them experts in all of our business units. So they know above average knowledge of suppressors, the history of them, plus Sig Sauer suppressors, what sets us aside from the other companies out there in the industry, handguns, rifles, optics, and then they can put it all together in one happy package and actually showcase and run that product on the range.
I'm listening to this description. I'm thinking, that's got to be one of the coolest jobs in the world.
They're a great group of folks, for sure.
So the question is, there are people out there thinking, how do I get that job?
Yeah.
What's the path to become a SIG instructor?
Well, we've been fortunate enough in that our company is growing pretty quickly.
Really fast, yeah.
And a lot of our employees that are trainers have come from within. So now not only do they know the Sig Sauer way, the mission of the company, a huge goal that we always come up with at every kind of goal planning session is, how do we show the passion, us being behind the walls of SIG headquarters, to the people out there?
Right.
The trainers are essentially extensions of our passion through headquarters, and they're out there, and they've kind of grown with the company, and they're able to showcase that on the consumer side of the house.
Right. And I was talking earlier with somebody from SIG, and I said, you guys have a corporate culture of passion, enthusiasm, of wanting, striving for excellence, I guess. And it comes through in the product line, but it also comes through in the approach that you take, and that's kind of esoteric. It's like a thing that it's kind of hard to grasp. But for people who know the company, go, yeah, you guys just approach things differently.
Mm-hmm. We don't want to just be a gun company. We want to be an all-encompassing unit that people want to come back to time and time again. You can go to any other manufacturer that's out there and buy a gun and maybe never talk to the person behind the gun. With Sig Sauer, you could go to an event in Ohio and you could be talking to the product manager that actually developed the trigger system that's in the gun.
Oh, that's
which
cool.
is pretty unique.
Yeah.
And so that's fun for people to be able to, to get a inside look into the business of what they may be trusting their life upon.
Well, excellent point. Hey, tell you what, don't go anywhere, Hannah. I want to hold you over here because this is good stuff for us to talk about. I'm going to take a quick break here, and we'll be right back. Our number is 866-TALK-GUN or Tom Talk Gun. We're at the Sig Sauer Range Day at SHOT Show. We're talking with Hana Bilodeau from the training facility. I got to ask you more about the academy when we come back, okay?
Sure.
All right, we'll be right back.
When the U.S. military's elite units and law enforcement agencies across the globe demanded innovation and reliability, they didn't settle. They chose Sig Sauer. When world champion professional shooters demanded precision accuracy, they didn't settle. They chose Sig Sauer. So it's no surprise more and more civilian gun owners are refusing to settle for anything less. They're choosing Sig Sauer firearms, ammunition, electro-optics, suppressors, air guns, and training. Sig Sauer. Never settle.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But do you know you could use more training? Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Bata Group. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
Tired of searching the web for the best deals on guns, ammunition, and gear? Download the free Gun Dealio app today for deals and discounts right at your fingertips. Handguns, rifles, shotguns, ammo, optics, lasers, gun safes, targets, gun cleaners, grips, slings, and much, much more. Save money on products you want from the companies you love. New deals, discounts, and rebates added daily. Gun Dealio, available for free in the App Store and Google Play.
Brownells has gone retro. Check out Brownells' new line of retro AR-15 and AR-style 308 rifles at brownells.com/retro. Whether you're looking for Eugene Stoner's original 308 design, the famous M16A1, Air Force 601, or the XM177 carbine, Brownells has the classic, new production, old-school rifle of your dreams. Own the firearm you used in basic training, carried in service, or that Grandpa always talks about. See more at brownells.com/retro.
All right, we're back with you. We're talking with Hana Bilodeau from Sig Sauer. The academy there, I mentioned that probably 10 years ago it was kind of really not as well known. I think people are starting to really understand a lot more about it, but still, it's a phenomenal facility. The physical facility is great, but the trainers are really the key there. That's the deal, and you're there, and you've got this incredible background, but it seems like everyone I talk to there has this incredible background.
Yeah, so the Academy really prides itself on recruiting its instructors to make sure that they are that well-rounded individual. You may be the best person behind the gun in the world, but you're not able to relay and communicate that message. So they do a really good job at recruiting their instructors to make sure that they can do both, that they can reach.
Teaching's not the same as shooting.
It's really not. And being able to relate to people, especially when you've been separated in a covered class of a career, for lack of better terminology. A lot of our instructors come from either law enforcement or military.
If you've been teaching military, there's a way that you can teach military. Well, you can't use that on Susie Homemaker and Walter Mitty, who's there for their basic class.
That's it.
It just doesn't work.
Yeah, and the Academy really prides itself on their instructors being able to teach a senior-only class where there's an 80-year-old widowed grandma that's learning to shoot for the first
and
time
she's not going to be getting down on the ground and getting back up and all that. Yeah.
And then the very next day they'll come into work and they could be assigned to, a team or a military unit and teaching a class.
And for those who don't know, when we're talking about teams, we're talking about it could be anything from SEALs to Delta to
local SWAT team,
a local SWAT team, or units that actually don't exist.
That's it.
That's right. No such agency may show up. You never know. But what makes it fascinating is that, with the exception of some of the cool toys, when you go to the SIG Academy, you've got this pro shop and you have access to some really great guns and gear, right?
That's it. And so a lot of students, when they come in, they're very nervous. Well, I haven't purchased my first gun yet, or I don't have all the bells and whistles to go and take the class. So not only do we have the pro shop where you can purchase if you so choose, but we also have a student armory. So you can come with absolutely no gear and go into that armory and choose your firearm that you want to use for your class. Which
might be a good idea to do that before you buy, to figure out, okay, yeah, I know my buddy likes this, but I just didn't like that. But this one over here, I tried that one. That was the one for me. I would have bought the wrong one if I hadn't had a chance to try it.
I always say to my students, especially when I teach women's only classes, would you ever allow your husband to go and buy you a pair of jeans? And they say, absolutely not. And I say, well, why? Well, they wouldn't know what to buy or the size or the style. And I said, well, they don't know what gun works for you either.
Exactly.
And so it's really important that you get out there and do some training before you make those decisions.
I get those calls from men. I want to buy a gun for my wife. I say, I'm sorry, you don't get to. He said, what do you mean? I said, no, you can buy a class and you can pay for the gun, but you can't be there when it happens, because you'll screw it up.
Yeah.
I mean, you just will, and just exactly your point. Buying a gun, particularly a self-defense gun, is such a personal thing.
It really is.
And a lot of times people, they come into, if they don't have any background, they come into it, well, I want a nice little gun. Except they don't understand that the smaller the gun, generally the more difficult it is to shoot well.
Sure.
And it's not as pleasant to shoot. I'm mid-size, even a full-size, depending on, are you going to carry it? Are you going to have it at your home? What's the plan here? And that's the process that you do.
That's it. And so you're absolutely right. Mentally, when you look at the smaller gun, it's less intimidating until you actually shoot it.
Right. Right. You go, oh, yeah, physics is there. If it's smaller and it's lighter, it's going to come back harder.
That's it.
It's just what it is. So what do you see as you think about your training and watching people coming in? Are you seeing any changes in the makeup or the mindset or anything as the students that are coming in these days?
100%. So on multiple facets. So there are so many more women involved in classes and range activity nowadays. If I were to put a number to it, guessing, I would say 30 to 40% of an increase in the population of women that are throughout classes. When I first started teaching at the academy, 2013, 2014 timeframe, you might have one woman or so, and we didn't offer just strictly women-only classes.
Okay.
Women encompass about half of the class, the co-ed classes nowadays, and they have a full range of women's-only classes.
Okay, what's going on? What's driving that?
I think fear. A little bit fear and empowerment. So women no longer take a back seat in anything in 2019. We're represented in the workforce from an entry-level employer all the way up to CEOs. And I think that that's empowering women and kind of allowing them to branch out into different facets of hobbies. And I also think that fear of where we are in society. Society is not a pretty place, no matter where you look at it. And, maybe 15, 20 years ago, we could look outside and say, well, only bad things happen in bad neighborhoods or only bad things happen overseas.
Right.
We're not allowed to say that anymore.
No.
It is happening everywhere, and we are hearing more and more about school shootings and mass shootings and things that are driving fear into the general public, and they're taking that fear and their safety seriously, which is an amazing kind of turn from where we've been.
Let me ask you a question. I've asked a lot of career law enforcement professionals, and you've had a really interesting background. What do you, as an experienced law enforcement professional who's really worked and seen a lot of stuff, what do you and people like you know or understand that we don't understand?
Law enforcement cannot be there when you need them. there is a time associated between your call for help and them arriving, and that literally could be life or death. Last time I checked the statistics, we were looking at an 11 to 14-minute response time for the average law enforcement to get to you when you call for help. That means your life is already in jeopardy.
Right.
Could you imagine any human being, even the fittest person in the room, fighting for 14 minutes?
Can't do it.
Fighting for their life.
No.
Impossible.
I have people say, well, the police could used to be there where I am. I get a 5-minute response time. That's really quick. I say, great. Can I beat on you with a crowbar for 5 minutes? Are you okay with that?
It's a frightening thought, and I cringe when I hear about the lobbyists and the gun laws and proposals coming forward, because reality hasn't set in. You have to be responsible for your own safety. Law enforcement aren't there. If they are there, it's haphazard. It's by accident.
Right. They were driving by when they got the call. Yes.
That's it. Or they're close by when they get the call.
Right.
But realistically, you're going to have to protect yourself at some.
I tell people it's like having a fire extinguisher. I'm not there to replace those guys, but I'm going to try to control the situation until the cavalry arrives. And that's my personal defense firearm. I'm not going to try to save the world, but I'm just going to try to hold on until I can get help there. But that stopwatch of death, that interval between the call and when somebody shows up, that's everything. Tell people real quickly how they can take advantage of what you're doing these days.
So we will broadcast anything on the commercial sales side through social media or through sigsauer.com.
Okay.
If they're interested in Academy business, there are two ways: sigsaueracademy.com plus social media, and they also do a monthly newsletter. So if you go to their website, there's a lower left-hand corner. You click on Tactical Tips, and you can get a monthly newsletter from the Academy.
Excellent. Hana Bilodeau, thank you so much. This has been fun.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Now I will look forward to getting into a class with you, okay?
Absolutely.
All right, we'll do that. Thank you so much. All right,
Thank you.
don't go far. When we return, Gun Talk will be still right here at the Sig Sauer event at the SHOT Show. It's a hoot, and we're going to be talking about, let's see, what's going on in the industry, cool new guns, and yeah, there's some new things we'll be telling about, some new product releases right here. 866 Talk Gun. I'm Tom Gresham, and this is Gun Talk.
Good morning, Mr. Gresham. Your mission, should you decide to accept it, is to host a radio show that will bring truth and common sense to the discussion of firearms rights in this country. Good luck, Tom, to you and your Tom Gresham's Gun Talk team.
Back with you, Tom Gresham. 866-TALK-GUN is the magic number. We are open lines. If you'd like to join us, we will certainly take your call. Doesn't matter if it's a range report or a question about a gun. I may know the answer, but if I don't, I'll make it up, just like always. By the way, we're at the Sig Sauer Range Day at the SHOT Show. The SHOT Show, of course, being the Shooting, Hunting, and Outdoor Trade Show. It is the massive, and I do mean massive, trade show for the firearms industry. It's not open to the public. It's where dealers and distributors come and meet with manufacturers, and we get to hang out there and see all the new cool stuff. We'll be giving you a lot of that information. By the way, we'll be doing an awful lot of live video this week from the SHOT Show with news of things that are going on. So be sure to go over to our Facebook page, look for Gun Talk Media, and follow us there. Or you can just go to guntalk.com and see what we're up to. But you don't want to miss out on these things. Speaking of NSSF, the National Shooting Sports Foundation, joining me right now is Bill Dunn from NSSF about a cool new program they have. Hey, Bill, how are you, sir?
Hey, Tom. Doing good. How you doing?
I am well. It is SHOT Show time, and it's that exciting time of the year when at the end of it you're going to feel like you took a beating, but it sure is worth it.
Oh yeah, and us on the East Coast, we got hit with a pretty bad storm, so a lot of us had to fly out a little bit early. But we're all in Vegas, ready for the greatest show on earth.
Yeah, a lot of fun. So tell me about. One of the things I was telling somebody like yesterday, I said NSSF has some of the best programs out there, and I always worry that not as many people know about them as they should. Everything from Project Child Safe to wheretoshoot.org and all of that, but you got a new program that I just love, so I'm going to let you tell them what's going on with the Plus One movement.
Yeah, we have this brand new program called the Plus One movement, and I'm really excited about this, and everybody at NSSF is. And the message is super simple, like, bring somebody new. It's that easy. If you're a hunter, if you're a shooter, we want to make this the year of the +1 movement, where everybody in America brings one new person. Imagine if we did that. We could double our ranks in a year if everybody took part, or even if just 1 in 3 did it. The impact would be huge. On the hunting side, like we could erase the decline in hunting overnight simply by everybody out there just bring somebody new. It's that easy.
You know, it's interesting in the research that I've seen. Actually, it was research done by NSSF some years ago, and it said that 50% of the people, actually 50% of the women said that they would go shooting if someone just asked them to go.
Yeah, we see that all the time, and I know probably from your personal experience and my personal experience, I've never met somebody that didn't want to go shooting, and that's from all walks of life. The vast majority of people out there would be glad to come along and learn.
Well, the things that they want to know, first off, is it safe? I mean, once you can get over that, you can pretty much get to where you need to go. But people need to understand that it's safe. And I think when you start the conversation with someone, particularly if it's somebody you don't really know that well, I would suggest that that's probably where the emphasis should be, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, this is an introduction to firearm safety, and what better way to learn firearm safety than to actually take part in the activity? Yeah.
Exactly. So what is the program? What's the +1 program? What's available for people, and how do they take advantage of it?
So we developed 2 brand new web pages. One's called letsgoshooting.org. The other is called letsgohunting.org. I'd encourage everybody out there to go take a look. There's a ton of resources for shooters of all skill levels, hunters of all skill levels, everybody from beginner to expert. We actually categorize a lot of the video content based on experience level. We have hundreds of videos, and then we have 2 great sections in there that are specific to the +1 movement, and
right.
It's tips for mentors, like for you to become a mentor. Gives you a lot of great ideas. You can watch some videos on how to make that first experience the best that it can possibly be, like everything from gun fit to safety to just making that person feel really comfortable for that first time. Because, as you know, like for the first time going, a lot of people are a little bit nervous, understandably, but you can play the role to be that mentor to make it the best possible first experience.
So
and,
really
yeah,
what
those
you
2
have...
websites are great ideas.
I'm just thinking, what you're really doing is teaching people who say, yeah, I would like to take somebody out, but I really don't know how to do that. I'm not really an instructor. You have the information on the website of how to start the conversation, what to do when you get out there. Basically hold their hand through the process and get them started.
Exactly. Yeah, both of those +1 sections on Let's Go Hunting and Let's Go Shooting. It's basically a guide on how to teach somebody new, how to welcome somebody new. And there's articles, there's videos, there's just basic tips, like a lot of great stuff in both those sections. I'd encourage everybody out there to visit those. And we also launched 2 new Facebook pages too, Let's Go Shooting and Let's Go Hunting. So if you're on Facebook, like those. Instagram, like on there. Twitter, we're on there too. But we're constantly posting great content for shooters and hunters, and also content on mentoring people and becoming part of the +1 movement.
It's interesting. I mean, this is a formalization of something that we've been talking about for years, all of us in the industry, which is, take a friend out, invite somebody to go out. This is kind of that, first shots program that NSSF has had. The idea behind it is, if you want to preserve our sports, hunting and shooting, we have to have new people coming into the sports so that the numbers stay up there. But a sideline to that, and then this may not be why NSSF does it, but a sideline to that is for Second Amendment rights, the more people who are involved on an active basis, not just buying a gun and keeping it in a nightstand drawer, but actually going out and shooting, the more people who do that, the more people who have skin in the game who care about the Second Amendment.
Yeah, and you don't know about something until you try it. And you get more people out there, you're going to expand their worldview. You're going to expand their knowledge that they didn't have before. A lot of people that didn't understand firearms before, you get them out to the range, and they see things in a whole new way.
Oh, yeah, and when you take them out and they shoot the first time and they turn around and smile at you, you go, okay, yeah, I got them. I mean, that's it, because now they have discovered what we've been saying all along. Hey, this stuff is fun, man.
Yeah, and it's safe.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I forget to mention. I always talk about how, they'll discover that it's fun, but inherent in that is they discover it's safe. Hey, Bill, can I get you to hold a second? I want to continue our conversation, okay?
Sure thing.
All right, good deal. We're talking with Bill Dunn from the National Shooting Sports Foundation, nssf.org.org. We'll be right back with more Gun Talk.
Pure accuracy. That's what a great rifle is all about. That's the Mossberg MVP Precision Rifle. The MVP Precision has it all. A bolt action that accepts AR-style magazines, sub-MOA accuracy, aluminum chassis system with slim profile handguard, Mossberg's lightning bolt action trigger system, chambered for the 6.5 Creedmoor, 224 Valkyrie, 308 and 223. Available in 24 and 26-inch threaded barrels. For your long-range precision needs, it's the MVP Precision. Mossberg.com. That's Mossberg.com.
Since 1937, Ducks Unlimited has led the charge on wetlands and waterfowl conservation. Wetlands reduce the effects of flooding and recharge our drinking water, but perhaps most importantly, they allow us to experience what makes the outdoors so great. Band together to rescue our wetlands.
Attacks happen every day. How will you react? See real people put into real-life criminal attack situations on First Person Defender. Discover what works and what doesn't. Kidnapping, ATM robbery, home invasion, and other attacks. Learn how to save your life and the lives of your family. Get the entire first season on DVD at shopguntalk.com. Get prepared. shopguntalk.com.
Back with you here, 866-TALK-GUN, if you'd like to be a part of this craziness. Tom Gresham is here. By the way, don't forget to follow us on Facebook. It's Gun Talk Media over there. And you can follow me on Twitter, where I am at Gun Talk, and I put a lot of posts up there. I know I'm not telling you what I had for breakfast. They're like meaningful things, news stories about guns and shooting and the shooting sports and self-defense, and true stories of what I call GGWAG, good guy with a gun. We have as many of those as I can, just to let people know, it's working out there. We're talking right now with Bill Dunn from the National Shooting Sports Foundation. And Bill, I would offer that, a lot of people in the public know the NRA, but a lot fewer people actually understand what the NSSF is. When you have to explain it to somebody, what do you say?
We're the Industry Trade Association, and the simplest way to put it is we represent all the people behind the counter, whereas the NRA represents the people who are the customers.
Oh.
So we're the industry. We're the guys that we represent all the retailers, the ranges, the manufacturers, the guys that are making the products, and the places that you're going to purchase the products and the places that you're going to utilize the products. So those are all of our members. We're the businesses behind the industry.
And it's always interesting to me how the media, of course, almost always gets it wrong. They say, well, the NRA represents the gun makers. I'm thinking, no, actually, there's another group that represents the gun makers and the gun sellers, and that's the NSSF. But you know what? I like the way you put it. It's who's behind the counter and who's in front of the counter. NRA guys are in front of the counter, and NSSF folks are behind the counter. It's the industry.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I have to learn all this stuff now because I don't think we've said anything about it on the air. I was just appointed to the Board of Governors of the NSSF. Yeah,
congratulations. It's good to have you on. I was happy to hear that.
Thank you. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to find out, by golly. We're talking about this great program, the Plus One movement, and it's not like this is a new idea. A lot of us have been doing this for years. Jim, our producer here, he took on a challenge a few years ago, and he actually introduced 50 new people to shooting in a year, which I thought was phenomenal.
Oh, wow.
And that's the kind of thing we're talking about. Doing is taking this on as a personal challenge, a quest, if you will. I have people ask me all the time, what can I do for gun rights? What can I do for the Second Amendment? And I always tell them, honestly, this sounds so simple. But if you would just take somebody to the range, take them hunting, introduce somebody to this, bring in somebody, that's about the best you can do, because I call it, Bill, vaccinating somebody. Because when somebody goes out to the range and shoots and has a great time and comes back and says, those folks out there are having fun, they're safe and it's great fun and they're just a great bunch of people. Well, you have changed that person, and no amount of propaganda can convince that person that gun owners are bad.
Yeah, you see it all the time. Like, I love taking new people, and like you said, you see that smile on their face, and things change. They understand what they didn't understand before. Like, just over Christmas, I was talking to my cousin, and he's like, he always is interested in what I do for a living. He's like, I'd love to give that a try. So I took him out sporting clays shooting, gave him a little lesson, and by the end of the day, like, he was hitting everything, and he walked out of there like, he's like, when are we going again? And it's that easy, and that's exactly what our +1 movement is all about.
But Bill, the rule is, if you introduce somebody to shooting and they outshoot you, you never take them out again.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just the way it works. If you outshoot me, I'm not taking you out again. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There are those people who are just naturals, and they don't know it because they've never done it. And then when they do it, they're going, ooh. And part of that is, it goes back to how do you introduce somebody? Make sure that the shooting is easy. If it's clay targets, give them easy clay targets. If it's shooting at paper targets, bring them up close. Guarantee success, right?
Yep. Yeah. Maybe use a low caliber. Like if you're bringing your lady friend along, or someone with a smaller frame.
Right, at 22s and reactive targets. Anything from putting up clay targets that you shoot with a pistol or a rifle, or something that breaks, or something that reacts, or steel. Steel targets are fun. Something that's just fun. I mean, that's the whole deal. It's got to be fun.
Yep.
I want to touch on something else. And one of the things that people, and I always try to bring this up when I talk about NSSF, is Project Child Safe. And the public just doesn't understand that is the firearms industry that has given away more than 30 million gun safety kits, including 30 million free gun locks to the public out there. The firearms industry is actually the industry that owns gun safety. These are really the gun safety people, as opposed to the fake gun safety of the Giffords of the world and the Bloombergs of the world.
Yeah, Project Child Safe is probably the #1 firearm safety campaign in the United States, if not the world, right now. And like you said, we're up to over 38 million safety kits that we've distributed through 15,000 law enforcement agencies around the country.
Amazing.
And like you said, it's genuine firearm safety. It's the real deal. Like we're making a difference, and we're putting information and locks in people's hands to put to use right away, and having them do it the right way.
Yeah. Hey, Bill, let me just do this. I'm going to drive people. Go to nssf.org, and also for the +1 movement, it's letsgoshooting.org and letsgohunting.org. Did I get that?
Yeah, you got it.
All right, Bill Dunn, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you on the floor of the SHOT Show, man.
Same here, Tom. Thank you very much.
All right, you take care. Yeah, great programs, really a worthwhile organization, nssf.org. Check out their programs. I think you're going to find some that you didn't know about and some you want to be involved with. Hey, open lines right now, 866-TALK-GUN. Got a range report? All right, back with you, and we have news. We've been running this Sig Sauer giveaway, and they pulled the names, and we've got winners. Let me just announce these on the air right now. The winner of the Sig P320 M17 with 100 rounds of ammo, Henry M. of Jacksonville, Florida. The winner of the Sig P365 with 100 rounds of their 365 FMJ ammo, Kevin C. from Brazil, Indiana. The winner of the MPX PCC with 100 rounds of their 119 grain Elite Ball ammo, Toby T. from Memphis, Tennessee. And the winner of the BDX 1400 combo kit is Alan K. from Greenfield, Massachusetts. You'll be getting emails from all of us. Speaking of winners, let's see here. Bring in line 3. Dustin's with us out of Lewiston, Idaho. Hey, Dustin, you're on Gun Talk. What in the world did you win?
Hi, Tom. Hey, I won a 357 Magnum from work.
Sweet. How'd that happen?
Well, they have several drawings at where I work, and the money goes, they're raffles. And the money goes towards Christmas cards and presents for the kids, for the employees.
All right. You know what? Now, I'm okay. I'm not going to give it out unless you say it's okay. But if you want to tell people where you work, I'm good with that. Okay.
Well, I work at CCI Spear in Lewiston. Lewiston, Idaho.
Making ammo.
Making ammo. That's what I'm in the shipping and receiving department, so
okay.
I ship it out all over the place.
Nice. So you got a 357 Magnum. Now, who's the maker on this one?
This is a Smith & Wesson Model 586-8, and it's an NRA edition. It's got a NRA logo on the frame and stars and stripes on the cylinder. It's pretty neat looking gun.
So are you going to shoot it, or is it going to be a collector?
Well, I really want to go out and shoot it like crazy. I've heard that these pistols handle really nice when you shoot them. They got the heavy barrel, so the 357 Magnum maybe doesn't kick quite as hard.
Well, I'll tell you what you do. You get some of that nice 38 special ammo that you guys make, and you shoot that in there, and it's a pussycat. Then you shoot some 357 in it. Yeah, it's going to buck a little bit. And then you'll go back to shooting the 38s, and it'll be just one of the sweetest shooting revolvers you've ever seen. I would shoot the devil out of it. I'm with you on that one.
Well, good. I was hoping you'd say that. I've called around and tried to get some information on the pistol and say, well, is it a collector's item, and should I shoot it, or should I collect it and hang on to it? And I was really hoping that people would say, shoot it, but nobody seems to know anything about it, so I'm just going to take it upon myself to shoot it.
Good, because my deal is I'm not a collector. You know, all of my guns are shooters. And if I can't shoot it, I don't really need it. Somebody else should enjoy it. So, yeah, that is a great revolver. You're going to have so much fun shooting that. But, again, shoot it with a 38. You'll love it. Yeah, shoot some 357s at it now and then. But mostly that's going to be a real pussycat shooting 38s in it. Hey, congratulations.
Hey, thanks. Hey, Tom, I did have one question for you.
You bet.
Where do you think I could find a nice left-handed shoulder holster for it?
Ooh, left-handed shoulder holster. I would try probably people like Galco. There are several outfits that make good shoulder holsters. Poke around. But, yeah, I would start with, in fact, you know what? Just do the old internet search. Left-handed shoulder holster for revolver, and it'll pop up. There'll be a number of things, places you can find something. But I like the way you think. That sounds pretty sweet. Well, have fun with it. And, by the way, great place to work. CCI Spear, Lewiston. Well, first of all, you're in Idaho, for heaven's sakes. I mean, what's wrong with that? Nothing wrong with Idaho in the first place. As you know, I'm kind of partial to the state. All right, 866-TALK-GUN if you'd like to be a part of this. If you have a range report or a question, or you just want to weigh in on a subject, well, you know what? We'll be open lines. We're going to have some more guests here, but we'll have room for you if you'd like to join us. We're at the Sig Sauer Range Day at the SHOT Show in Las Vegas, Nevada. We'll be having some more folks from there. We have actually people who jump out of helicopters landing right here. We'll be right back.